Hello everybody and welcome to my April planner update. I'm doing this very beginning of May and I'm excited that I get to do this because I wasn't sure if I was going to have time to this week, but we ended up coming home early from our trip up north, so I've been having a great day just getting a bunch of stuff done around the house and getting caught up on some of my stationery things. So I'm going to show you all of the books that I've been in April. Not every single book that I'm in. There's a couple pieces, like there's a couple notebooks that I use on an ongoing basis. I just did not use them this month, so they are not going to be in this video. That would be my therapy journal and my personal development reading journal. I did not touch either of those in the month of April. Everything else I did use to some degree, so that's what we're going to look at today. I'm going to start with the, obviously, little 5-year. I actually spent this morning getting caught up in this because I hadn't updated it for pretty much all. I had to start on Sunday, April 6th, and filled in all the way to yesterday, April 3rd. So I just sat down, I had my dailies in front of me, and I also used kind of my camera roll to help me fill in. I normally do this every morning or every other morning, and I might backfill 1 or 2 days because the entries are very small, but I just got really behind, which I'll explain a bit more when I do my plan with me video for this week, which I will be recording here shortly. So the A5 is still going strong, and I finally have decided what cover I want to get for this. And so this will be getting a new cover soon at some point. Stay tuned for that, only because, and I mentioned this before, I really dislike this leather. It just doesn't feel good. I don't like the way that it's wearing over the last year and a half nearly. I don't feel like keeping on staring at it because I just don't think it's cute, but the 5 years are little chonkers, so you have to get the right cover for the 5 years. So yeah, so I think I figured out what leather I want to get for this one and which cover I want to get, and as soon as I have that in my hands, you guys will be the first to know. The other journal I've been using is also an A6. So this is my A6 Han that is dated, that I'm using to write my daily Stoic reflections in. And when I say I'm behind, I'm behind. This is April 17th and it's currently May 4th. However, the beauty of this is because it's dated, it's very easy for me to keep tabs on where I left off. And I just come in and do sometimes 2 or 3 entries if I have a little extra time. So I will at some point be caught up with this. I'm not super stressed about it, but I'm really happy with my decision to use a dated book for my daily Stoic readings because it does help me stay on track of where I'm at and know exactly where I am. Granted, could I open the book and figure that out? Yes, but I'm somebody who really likes to also write and reflect on, we don't want to talk about that, write and reflect on what I'm reading. This has been helping me connect more to the text and actually gain something from it rather than just reading it and then going in one ear out the other. So this is likely a book I'll read multiple times over. I'm toying with what I want to set up next year because there's also another book that I want to add to the mix, which is, I think I've mentioned it, the Pivot Year by Brianna Wiest. Stay tuned. But I put a Midori clip band on the edge of this, and this just comes with me. It's in a hardcover, and I just toss it into my work bag because usually when I'm doing this is either right before I start my workday or when I get a break during the workday. I take a break at lunch. I'll take my notebooks and my iPad with me away from my desk and find a little space and do a little journaling, a little reading, and that's my midday reset a lot of times. So I really love this. Okay, now I finally this month was able to get into my A5 Stalogy, which is my education notebook. So this is what I use whenever I have a course or a master class or a research paper or something that I'm reading, and I just take notes on it. I went to a GLP-1 summit this past month, and so I was using this to take notes during the lectures. I like to take notes on paper. And then a lot of times, a lot of the things I do are either recorded or I get the recordings or I get the slides. So then I can go back later and pull out the information from the slides, and I will tip in things or like print and paste things in. You can see here from different items. So like this one, I think I left a C photo. I took a photo and I'm gonna print it on paper and stick it in here. But also we got the slides, so I don't even need to use a photo. I'm just gonna print the slides from this presentation, stick it in here because I do use this to reference as I'm doing things for work. So a lot of times this lives just on my desk, and so I can reference it when I'm working. Now I did accidentally, in all of this, skip a page, and this is gonna drive me nuts. And a lot of times if I do this by accident, this is what I do. Nobody judge me, but I can't. What am I gonna stick in this page? It's smack dab in the middle of notes from another presentation. So we just pretend like it didn't happen. And then I have been using a Sarasa multi-pen, which is currently attached to my EDC. I love the Sarasa multi-pen I found for taking notes for educational things, because otherwise then I end up like highlighter and I have to uncap things. I like just being able to like click and keep going. It's maybe not as pretty, but it still draws my eye where it needs to be drawn in a way that's really effective. So this is my research and education notebook, and I have a couple things I'm gonna carve out time for this week. So this will be likely, hopefully, in the mix here in the beginning of May. Again, this is just an A5 Stalogy, and it's an A Sojourner cover, which it fits so beautifully and perfectly. And it's such a flexible and like floppy leather, but it's also protective at the same time, because when I go places or I go to conferences or what have you, this comes with me, and it's got to be able to stand up to travel. And all of Rowena's leathers are really durable and they get lived in really well. So this has been a really great cover for this book. I have no desire or designs to change it. Okay, so now I had a bit of a rings jump scare. So we all know in the first half of April, I was in my traveler's notebook. This is my Elysian paper cover that I recently got. I have my notes in here. I have daily journaling was happening in here, which I mostly filled up this book. And then I have my sticker release insert, and then I had my monthlies, weeklies, dailies, everything in here. Now, right about when I switched into this book, I had some really major changes, which again, I'll discuss in another video. The beautiful thing about this book is it's undated. So this is the undated standard freely planned. So I have some of it set up, but it doesn't matter if I hop into it at another point this year, or even if I want to hop into it at some point next year for a month or two, because it's undated and there's a bunch of blank pages. And then the weeklies are just blank like this, which is beautiful. And then the monthlies, I already set up the monthlies, but I was able to undo some of that. And the only thing that I would have to change is maybe white out the month itself and just repurpose the pages. It's undated, so I can jump in and out of it. So I really have a ton of guilt about not staying in this for more than 2 weeks. And then I brought into the mix rings. So I got into my stash, busted out a bunch of my stuff for Franklin Covey Compact, a bunch of my dividers, pen loops, stuff so I could set up, and then I purchased some pre-printed inserts, and then eventually had a little bit of time where I did some undated inserts. So this has been my go-to. I've basically transferred all of my trackers and information up to this point in the year into this booklet, which I mentioned when I showed my initial setup this video. A lot of my annual stuff was kept in a rings planner from 2023 and 2024. And in 2025, I was trying to avoid having multiple setups for things, but that just made my life more difficult. And I just realized I needed to let myself use what I needed to use, even if it meant I had multiple things going. Because I tried to keep everything compact into one thing, I kept like finagling things. And then finally, when I got this big cover, it opened up a lot of freedom, and then my world exploded in a good way, and I just needed something more modular. Basically, what's happening is a lot of what I take notes on a daily or weekly basis, but more so now into like various sections versus just on the next blank space or on the next blank page. And I'm gonna do a little plan with me on this one here shortly, and you'll see what some of the additional sections as I'm still refining this setup. And I did order some new dividers. I got some dividers from Infinite Lotus and I really like them, and I went to order more and they're out of stock. So I actually went onto Vixie's Plans because I wanted the thin vellum inserts and not the thick plastic ones. I ordered from Vixie's Plans a couple sets of the thinner vellum inserts that I'm really excited just to slim things down a little bit. And so that will be there. So basically this is what it's been for April, and I'm still using my Notion setup. So I was in this for the first half and this for the second half for like my everyday stuff. Education and research notebook for a GLP-1 summit that I attended. My A6 techo for my daily Stoic reflections, and then my A6 5-year techo for my 5-year journal. And that was April, my friends. Thank you so much for being here. And if you have any questions, comments, thoughts, feelings down below, what did you use in April? Have you stuck with mostly what you have, or have you had, like me, like major plot twist life events that have caused you to change things when you weren't planning to? Let me know down below. I'll catch you guys on the next one.